Why do you want to be a model? Well, I know a lot of girls mainly get into modeling because someone tells them, oh my god, you're pretty, wow, you're tall, you're skinny, your body's perfect, oh my gosh, your hair is nice, whatever. That's totally fine. Like, that's cool. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get any further than simply being pretty if you're only modeling because of the way that you look. Modeling is so much more than having a pretty face. Modeling is about emotion. It's about expression. You have to know how to express yourself in silent situations. A lot of people can scream out loud, they can curse, they can smile, they can do all of that. But how do you express yourself when you don't have the ability to speak? You only have the ability to move your facial muscles, move your facial muscles, or move your body. Like, how are you going to express yourself? How are you going to get the same point across if you can't say, hey, blah, 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 blah? How are you going to do that? So modeling is so much more than simply being pretty. It's really an art form. It's really an art form. It's an art form of expression, pure expression. It's really a beautiful thing, but you have to decide why you want to get into modeling, because the reason you want to get into modeling will truly map out the whole entire course that you go down. And the reason you want to get into modeling will give you a better understanding of the videos that I will have later on. So that's why it's so important right now to decide why I want to do this. What is my reasoning of wanting to get into modeling? Do I just like pictures? Some people do. I personally think pictures are really cool, honestly. But do you just like pictures? Do you want to be in runway? Do you like videos? Like, what is it about modeling that attracts you? Because that is so important to figure out initially. I personally didn't figure that out initially. I just kind of started it, and then I gained, my comfort level and a little bit of direction while I was doing it. But I'm still on the path of finding my perfect direction and like the real reason behind why I do this. But I really like it. It's really fun. So if you get into it, you'll probably like it. But as I said, it's best to know why you're doing it before you do it, so that you're not like going crazy in the midst of your experience. Skinny girl, you tall girl, oh my god, wow. That's super cool. That's great. But honestly, from my experience, I've learned that being a model is so beyond simply being pretty, having nice hair, having a nice body. It's so beyond that. There are different factors that you need in order to become a successful model, or a decent model, or at least a model that books jobs every once in a while. A, you really need personality. If you do not have personality, none of this will work. Your face won't matter because you don't have personality. Personality shows in photo shoots, it shows at castings, it shows when you're in a music video, it shows when you're in a commercial, whatever you want to call it. Personality is so important. I've met girls that were beautiful and their personality was bland. So the girl next to them, that was maybe 5 steps less than them in the looks department, got the job because she had personality. Personality is everything. It's the most important factor beyond your physical. Another thing you really need is patience. Most of the time, you're on set for hours. I've had jobs where I was on set for maybe 20 hours straight. You're on set for hours. You're exhausted most of the time. A lot of times you're sitting around because they're trying to set stuff up. Maybe they're shooting different scenes where they don't need you. And at all times you have to pretend as if nothing around you is occurring. So you have to have extreme patience, because if you don't have patience, you won't be able to last. A lot of castings are long. I personally did a casting that was about 3 hours standing outside in Florida heat. So you have to have a crazy amount of patience. Another necessary skill when it comes to modeling, ironically, is acting. That is a very necessary skill because you have to learn how to conform to the environments around you. Even if you're doing something as simple as a photo shoot, you have to, you have to conform to the photographer's vibe or their energy, however you want to call it. in order to really get the perfect shot, you have to really get in the moment. So if you're doing a commercial shoot, you have to act very playful, very fun, very inviting. If you're doing more of a sexy shoot, you have to get into that character as well. Because everything really is about getting into a character when it comes to modeling. It's always about getting into a character. You're never going to be just yourself. So let's say Sally's a model and she goes on set for Coca-Cola. Sally has to conform to what Coca-Cola desires. If Sally goes on set for King Magazine, Sally has to conform to what King Magazine desires for that day. So you have to have a little bit of acting skills. I know a lot of models aren't actors. Some models are strictly models, which that is okay, but you have to have an ability to conform with the environment around you. So that's super, super, super important. So if you're one of those people that's kind of like just stuck up into yourself, there's a high likely chance that it may not work. When it comes to modeling is having a look. I'm not going to say the look because I don't know if that necessarily exists. I don't think there's like that one look that's like, oh my God, oh wow, like this is not Zoolander. It's not. So you have to have a look. And having a look is not necessarily having the same hairstyle. It's not about having the same makeup. It's not about that. Really having a look is having complete comfort within yourself. Because there are beautiful girls all day long. But the girls that have a sense of confidence within themselves, you see it. And she automatically has a look. She has a presence. She has a vibe. She has something about her that you want to remember. So when it comes to your look, if you want to have curly hair like mine, if you want to have long straight hair, if you want to have interchangeable weaves, whatever you want to do, you have to gain comfort within yourself, gain a oneness within yourself so that that is expressed completely. Because the more comfortable you are with yourself and the more comfortable you are with your look, other people will be comfortable in receiving that and will be more than happy to hire you for jobs, hire you for photo shoots, whatever it may be. So you have to have a look. Work on your look. Another really important factor when it comes to the modeling stuff, if you are considering it, when you're in the stages of questioning why you want to be a model, is the self-esteem factor. That's like super, super, super duper duper important. Now, I'm not saying like you have to have the most perfect self-esteem. You don't have to think you're a beauty queen. You don't have to think you're beautiful every day because we're human beings. Some days you're going to feel ugly. Some days you're going to feel like you need to lose 5 pounds. Some days you're going to feel perfect. But having a set level of self-esteem within yourself is so important. Because if you don't, then the basic things that happen in modeling will continuously break you. You'll just be like, oh my gosh, you'll be up here, then you'll be down there. And it's so, so, so important. Honestly, a lot of times, even if your self-esteem is a little bit too low for modeling, even something as simple as submitting to a job, not getting a response, will affect you. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I thought it was perfect. Oh no, okay. Oh my gosh, and it'll just be a continuous cycle. So, before you jump into modeling, before you jump into it, check yourself at the door. As people say, check yourself. Like, really examine yourself. Examine yourself. Examine how you look at yourself. And really ask yourself, okay, am I at a level where I can be criticized when I walk in a room? Am I at a level where I can be rejected continuously and still wake up every single day and go like this again? Am I at that place? If you are not at that place, please don't try to do the modeling stuff because the modeling stuff is full of rejection. The modeling stuff is full of, you look good, but you don't look good enough for this position, or your look is not quite like that, and your look is not quite like this. And honestly, you can't really change the way you look unless you just have like thousands and trillions and millions of dollars. You can get plastic surgery, but that's not really the point. That's not really logical. You have to really have a level of self-love. Even if you're not at 100%, you have to have a level of compassion for yourself, a level of love for yourself, a level of understanding for yourself. You have to have a level of understanding for this process because it's not just, oh my gosh, she has a pretty face, she's gonna get the job, everyone's gonna want her, everyone's gonna like her pictures. It does not work like that because there are so many people that submit for the same things you submit for. There are so many people that go to the same castings. There are so many people that want to work with the same photographers. There's girls that have similar looks and faces and vibes and a whole nine to you. So the only thing that makes you different is the fact that you're you, and you have to get comfortable with you before you step into a field like this. So even if you're, you know, a teenage girl watching this, you can be older, you can be doing any type of modeling. That really has nothing to do with it. But you have to find a way to gain a proper level of self-love for yourself. Even if you only have 15% of self-love for yourself, you have to really have an understanding for the way this particular industry works. You can't think that just because you stand in a room, gold is going to fall from the ceiling, because there may be 1,000 options standing next to you. And the only thing that determines whether or not you book a certain thing is if it's meant for you to get it. Because if it's not meant for you to get it, it's just not going to happen. And you know, you have to really understand that. So you really have to have a level of self-love and a level of self-appreciation, so that every time something does not occur for you, you're not being continuously knocked down and you got to get back up, and you get knocked down and you got to get back up, because it'll really, really drag you down. And you want to enjoy the experience. Modeling is really fun. It's really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really, really, really dope experience. It's a super dope experience. But you have to have an understanding for it before you enter into it, because if you don't, you're going to get super frustrated. You're not going to really understand why things happen the way they do. So yeah, that's a really important factor. So please, beyond everything, keep that as a note in your head at all times. Keep that as a note. So another key factor that you need if you're considering, oh my gosh, I want to be a model, what is something that I need to get into it? You really, really, really need a good, positive attitude. That is like so important. Your attitude needs to be on point all the time. Yeah, because everybody knows that girl that's like a B word. Now, I don't curse, but everyone knows what a B word is. You know what a B word is. Starts with a B, ends with an H. We know what a B word is. So it's so important to have a good, positive attitude, because in my opinion, the modeling industry is really based on referrals. On your resumes, really, really, really based on referrals. So if you work with Mike the videographer and you go audition for a Walmart commercial, and Mike happens to be best friends with the casting director, guess what? If you were a B word with Mike, it's going to get back to the casting director that you're a B word. And you're probably not going to book the job simply based on word of mouth. Another key factor to consider when you are thinking about getting into modeling is what your level of determination is. If you're one of those people that gives up all the time when things get hard, probably not going to really like the modeling stuff. Because the modeling stuff really is like, everything's good, everything's great, and then maybe you don't book a couple jobs for a while. And then maybe you go to castings and you look similar to everyone else around you, someone else gets chosen over you, whatever the case may be. So you have to have determination. You have to be willing to say, I tried this 10 times, it did not work, I'm still going to try again. Because persistence is really important in this particular field. Whether you're doing freelance modeling where you're working for yourself, or whether you're working with an agency, it's still the same thing. You're still submitting yourself. You're still gambling in a sense. Like it's really a gamble. So you may not make it, you may make it, but you're putting in your bid and you're just like, hey, I'm here. Do you like me? That's what's up. Okay, great. So you have to have some type of level of determination and some level of persistence. It's really about hard work. And being dedicated to it and having a passion for it, and really building on the passion of simply being like, I want to get into modeling. You have to build on, I want to get into modeling. You can't just say, I want to be a model. Because that's probably not going to work. Like, just because you stand in a room and you're pretty, there's no guarantee that the world is going to fall at your feet. So you have to work hard. You have to work it. And you can continue to watch my videos. I will give different tips on the best way to, constantly get your face scene, how to network, what are some different websites that are great to, you know, network with people, talk to different people. Yes. So, as I always say at the end of every video, if you have any specific questions or comments, like anything that you would like to ask or want me to talk about, you can contact me on my email at AskValenciaG@gmail.com. I will be sure to reply, and if I don't reply, it's probably because your topic or your question is something that I'm just going to make a video on, so then you'll see it anyway. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video segment. This is just the first of many, and please stay tuned. Please comment, please like, please share, because there could be someone out there that really needs to understand, why do I want to get into modeling? What are the things that I really need in order to get into modeling and actually be pretty good at it? So, yes, I would really appreciate if you guys share, and yes, stay tuned. There's going to be more videos coming on the way. More coming on the way.